What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another build guide. In today's video I bring you the first of many Shadow of the Erdtree build. This is a level 200 build using the Great Kitana. This is one of the new weapon types that you can obtain in the new Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. I felt like level 200 was a good stopping point for the DLC builds, because that way it gives you plenty of health and also plenty of stats to spread between your mind, stamina, and of course your damage stat, especially if you're doing a split build. I felt like level 200 was a really good stopping point. 150 I felt like was just a little too low to output some good damage. And all of these builds that I'm going to be doing is going to be at the max Erdtree fragment buff. So I have a max blessing and also the max blessing for the spirit ashes. So everything is at the max blessings, so that way you can see the full damage potential here in the DLC. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so first things first, I'm using the Great Kitana with the occult setting on it with the overhead stance skill. Just really good Ash of War. And then I have some points into Arcane to increase the bleed. And then I'm using the Rakasha armor set to increase damage to foes. This also increased damage taken to you, but like I said, if you I am using a max blessing plus the max flask of wondrous physic will kind of negate this in a way, but I like the way this looks, and it looks like a bloody knight katana. I'm using the rotten wing sword insignia, the shard of Alexander, the two-headed turtle talisman, and the two-handed sword talisman to increase our damage and has some nice stamina recovery. For the Flask of Wondrous Physic, I'm using the Thorny Crack tier, and I'm using the Opaline Hard tier to kind of negate the effects of the armor set that I'm wearing, along with the new consumable that you can now craft, the Golden Vow consumable. Only costs 30 FP, and now we can also craft it, so now you can have a pocket Golden Vow without having to spec points into Faith to pop Golden Vow as a incantation. And then as for the summon, I'm using the new Blood Hexer Fiend Ashes. This will put a bloody mist. And it also uses HP instead of FP, so it's like the Mimic tier, but just requires less HP to summon. And then as for the Great Rune, all of these ones are going to be using Radahn's Great Rune, unless you're doing a really split heavy build. Radahn's is pretty much the one go-to. You get a percentage buff on everything that you put. Now, as far as the stats go, again, this is my astrologer guy, but I have 60 vigor, 25 mind, 27 endurance, 14 strength, just to meet the requirements of the katana, 60 dexterity, 16 intelligence, 7 faith, and 70 arcane, so that way we can get that bleed off pretty quickly. And that is going to be it for the build, guys. It's a nice, simple build, and you can pretty much run the whole DLC with this build. Now, if you don't like the armor set that I'm using, you can just use any armor that get you over the 51 poise. But I just like the aesthetic of this. This does give me at least 58 poise, so I can attack through some attacks, so that way I'm not constantly getting stun locked. But now I'm going to show you some boss gameplay. I'm not going to show you how to get to this boss, but this is pretty much how I'm going to be testing all of my builds. He's a pretty tough boss, but just a little spoiler warning for this boss, you do get a nice incantation afterwards, but so just be wary. I did complete all of the DLC, and now I'm trying to make some build for you guys, and the time it would take me to do a new character or new game plus, you guys would be waiting for a little bit for me fighting other bosses and trying to get back into the DLC and stuff like that. So now for the boss gameplay. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that build. That is my great Kitana build here in Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to drop a like and consider subscribing to the channel. We got more builds and guides coming your way. Tons of content here now that I'm cooking. Got plenty of builds here that I have in mind. But if you guys have anything that you are interested in or that you want to see, please put them down in the comments. I would love to take a look at them. And I appreciate the love and support that you guys are putting out for the channel. I will see you on the next video. Deuces.